Today in the battle arena, we've got Venom, Spider-Man's greatest villain, going up against Clayface, one of Batman's most powerful villains. So who's coming on top here? Let's find out. Eddie Brock bonded the alien symbiote after it was discarded by Spider-Man, becoming the first Venom. Brock was later anti-Venom, but the symbiote was lost during Spider Island. Brock has also been forcibly bonded to the toxin symbiote by the Crime Master, but has reluctantly given it up to stop Carnage. He's recently been rebonded with Venom. Bonding with the Venom symbiote grants Eddie a lot of superhuman abilities very similar to Spider-Man, through super strength, speed, agility, and reflexes. Venom is strong enough to battle against Peter, Carnage. He's managed to stun both Nova and Juggernaut with his punches, actually impaled Wolverine on a tree by punching him into it. He's durable enough to take punches from Hulk and Juggernaut. Also has a really nice healing factor. Like Venom has managed to heal from slashes across his chest, explosions, and even being impaled by Wolverine's claws all the way through his body. And the symbiote is even able to heal Eddie if he takes injuries while he isn't Venom. He isn't as fast or agile as Spider-Man is, because Venom doesn't share in having a spider sense, but he has actually been able to react quicker than Peter on a couple of occasions. Venom is able to create organic webbing from the suit, which means that it is much stronger than Spider-Man's webbing. But if this webbing is overused, then it can significantly weaken the symbiote. The suit can also create tentacles and tendrils to attack and grab enemies, and it allows Eddie the ability to shapeshift. Like the symbiote can form defensive shields, form wings or parachutes, turn his hands into weapons, and actually lengthen his arms in order to hit opponents. Then Venom's claws and teeth are razor sharp, and his tongue is actually really deadly as well, as one time he almost suffocated the Thing by sending his tongue down Ben's mouth, then choking him out. Very disgusting, yet effective. Venom does have his fair share of weaknesses though, as the symbiote is vulnerable to sonic waves and intense heat. Those attacks will leave Eddie exposed. So, that's we got one corner, an evil, twisted version of Spider-Man, Venom. But entering the ring in the other corner was someone who's always been a thorn in Batman's side, Clayface. Basil Carlo was an actor who, upon discovering that a remake of one of his classic horror movies was being made, went insane, beginning killing the cast and crew, wearing the mask of the film's villain Clayface, until he was stopped by Batman. Initially having no superpowers, Carlo joined with a group of other Clayfaces and stole their combined powers, allowing him to shapeshift into any form that he wants. Besides shapeshifting, Clayface's body composition grants him superhuman abilities, and he's strong enough to throw the Batmobile, break through meters of asphalt and concrete, and smash a reinforced SWAT truck. It's also extremely durable. Nearly all physical attacks are completely useless against Clayface, because, well, his body's made out of clay. He's able to increase his size to where he fills a room, or to the size of a 4-story building, can stretch his body to superhuman lengths, or on the reverse end, can shrink down to where he fits through a drain pipe, through a crack in a vault door. Clayface can also morph his body and create weapons out of limbs to attack enemies. He's been able to grow large spikes to impale people, create maces, axes, or hammers, grow extra arms, divide himself into different pieces in order to escape a net or slide through a grate. Clayface also loves to suffocate his enemies by trapping them inside himself, reaching out and filling up their lungs, and can even throw mud and the commander to suffocate someone while he is focused on fighting other opponents. Clayface has recently shown that his shapeshifting powers have evolved, to where he doesn't just take on the appearance of someone, but actually becomes that person down to their very DNA. He's even shown he's able to copy the powers and abilities of other people now because he can mimic their DNA. He can create multiple copies of himself, though it can only hold it for a couple of hours, and they are spread out over a large distance. Also proving that he is no longer really affected by his old weaknesses of things like solvent, coolant, or electrical charges. Now the only way to really beat him is to contain him. So who wins? Let's break it down. Now today we got one of Spider-Man's most powerful villains taking on one of Batman's most powerful villains. Venom versus Clayface. So who's coming out on top here? Let's find out. And first things first, I want to take a look at physicality. Which one of these guys is stronger and more durable? Well, Venom going to hold up a collapsing Ferris wheel or knock over a large water tower, which honestly probably puts him somewhere in the 40-ton range. Real impressive. And he's showing some serious striking power of his punches on top of that. Like he's beat the crud out of Spider-Man before. Hurt Nova's punches. He's torn through a giant monster's head before. Actually managed to send a Juggernaut flying through a few walls. The Juggernaut. He's busted through parts of buildings. Simply flexed out of being encased in Iceman's eyes. And even just being able to consistently overpower Spider-Man is real impressive. Because we all know how strong Peter is. And Venom is so much stronger than Spider-Man that Pete can't even overpower one of Venom's arms while he's using two. But flip the script. How strong is Clayface? Well, he's capable of casually throwing cars, even picking up and completely obliterating the Batmobile. He's cratered the ground and busted through streets with his punches, and has consistently just been able to completely overpower and envelop Batman. Although that's definitely not as remarkable as Venom overpowering Spider-Man. So let's up the ante a little bit. Well, overpower and injure heroes like Geoforce and Metamorpho. But most impressively, well, Clayface has managed to knock back and hurt both Power Girl and Supergirl with his attacks. That's on a whole other level than just dealing with Spider-Man. It's more reminiscent of Venom kind of tagging with Juggernaut, and leads me to believe that these two can hang with the other in terms of strength. But what about speed? Well, that area definitely goes to Venom. But before we talk about Eddie, believe it or not, Clayface is actually faster than you might believe. He's repeatedly tagged Batman and the members of the Bat family. When he managed to catch Wonder Woman and Supergirl by surprise, well, he tagged them too. But on the whole, Venom is faster. And he's a whole lot faster on a whole lot more consistent of a basis. He's overtaken Peter, and actually proven himself to be faster than Spider-Man on several occasions, once even saying that Peter moves in slow motion to him. Venom has leaped all around Hulk before he could even throw a single punch. And Venom hasn't just dodged bullets before, but actually caught countless shots that have been fired at him. The symbiote itself is also able to react to opponents and projectiles that Eddie can't see coming at him, as he's dodged countless attacks from behind, even attacks on people as fast as Spider-Man. And Venom is even able to open holes in the symbiote so that bullets and other attacks can simply pass right on through. Then last but not least, durability. And if Venom is faster, well, Clayface, he's tougher. But again, just like with speed, this isn't to say that Venom isn't tough. In fact, durability is arguably one of his greatest assets. He's been unhurt after taking anti-tank rockets to the face, survived several really massive explosions. Venom is completely bulletproof, even being able to stop bullets designed to shoot through steel plates. And oh yeah, he's taken more hits from Spider-Man than you can count, yet consistently got right back into the fight. On top of that, well, Venom's got a healing factor. He's instantly healed from slashes and stabs, even from the likes of Wolverine. Regenerated severed limbs, and the symbiote is even able to heal its host from injuries that Eddie might have sustained while not using the symbiote. However, Clayface is tougher. He's taken a ton of gunfire before, and it just does nothing to him. He's taken hits from Batman and the members of the Bat family, and that does nothing to him. Batman's even thrown everything that his suit has at him, and Clayface just said it tingled. But more importantly, well, Clayface has taken several punches in the likes of Supergirl and Wonder Woman. He's taken all of Human Flame's heat attacks, and even Power Girl's heat vision, even though heat is supposed to be one of his weaknesses. And it really just takes a whole lot to bring him down. And then, just like Venom, Clayface also has a healing factor. He's regenerated from being blown up in just seconds, healed from having his head cut in half. He's capable of healing from attacks faster than Batman can dish him out, and even immediately recovered from attacks from Gotham Girl, Morgan Le Fay, and Martian Manhunter. And yes, while both of them do have weaknesses that the other could technically exploit, they're not really weaknesses readily on hand. Like neither Venom or Clayface can just naturally create sonic attacks or manipulate fire. Plus, they kinda share the same weaknesses. So if they try to take their opponent down using a weakness, there's a good chance they just take themselves out in the process. So gotta tread lightly. So physically, they're close to the same, with each side having his specific advantage. But that's not all they're bringing to the fight. I mean, one of the reasons why I decided to throw these two at each other is because they're both versatile, and their versatility is essentially the same. With Venom, well, he sent his tentacles out to impale Wolverine, cut enemies apart with his tentacles. He's formed his hands into large spikes, shields, axes, or wings. He's even able to form copies of himself in order to fool an enemy. Venom has lobotomized a man, exploded a man from the inside, killed a man from the inside out, and enveloped Black Cat with his symbiote. He's even fought the Thing before, elongated his tongue, and sent it down Ben's throat, choking him out and nearly killing him until Human Torch stepped in and cut the tongue off. Venom has also got his webbing, which is surprisingly strong. He's even more aggro with it than Peter. He's able to completely wrap people in his webbing with one shot. He's broken an enemy's neck using his webbing as a projectile, and has even restrained both Spider-Man and Miles Morales before. Then with Clayface, well, he can manipulate his body like no other. He's turned his hands into swords, shields, clubs, axes, hammers. He can extend his limbs, even an entire body, however he wants, create multiple limbs, and even just grow massively in size. And so, with all that being said, who's coming out on top here? Well, I actually got to give the nod here to Clayface. It would be an incredible fight, and a Marvel DC matchup that I don't think it's talked about nearly enough. But Clayface is tougher, and he's more versatile. And it's really that durability that I'm leaning in heavily with. Venom is going to have a hard time putting Clayface down. Clayface should have a slightly easier time putting Venom down. When they're matched up pretty well across the board in other areas, I think that can tip the scales in Clayface's favor. So yeah, Clayface is coming out on top here. Clayface wins. But what do y'all think? I would love to hear your thoughts. Sound off in the comments down below. Also be sure to like button, subscribe button, and turn on notification on the DanCo army, and I will see you next time.